So let's talk about a few of the most useful mods for the new Toyota Tacoma. We're going to start in the back, and this one kind of found out as I had it, I guess. I'm talking about the bed stiffeners in the back. You can see here, obviously the main use of them is to keep the side of the bed, if you will, from bowing out if you put any pressure on it, like a rooftop tent, maybe a rack itself, or even if you load up the bed with stuff like dirt or rocks or whatever. That's the main function of it. But there are a couple of others. And let me preface this by saying I'm not going to count aesthetics, because I think almost every mod I have on the truck adds some kind of aesthetic value, right? Because I like the looks of them. This one also has a bottle cap opener on it. Kind of a minor thing there, but a neat little touch, right? And one of the things that I really like about it is the ability to hook up my tie downs and store them out of the way. I don't have to put them in the back, you know, in the little storage compartment under the seat. That is if you don't happen to have the hybrid. I can just hook them across here like so, and they're out of the way. Of course, I got black so they would, you know, kind of match the truck. You could get colored ones, I suppose, if you wanted to kind of add to the aesthetic value again and, you know, give a little pop of color back here. Next up, we got to talk about the tie downs. These are awesome. They're much stronger and certainly much better looking than what comes on the truck. You can get them in a myriad of different colors. Love these things. We also have some up in the front. I don't know if you can, yeah, you probably can't see them right now. But anyway, you get the idea. These tie downs from Billet Tie Downs. Really love the looks of these things, and of course they're functional. You can hook to them. They've got great big openings here to hook your tie downs to. Really dig those. I think they're pretty slick. Moving over here, we got to talk about this one, and I know I've mentioned it before, but it's important. I'm seeing more and more recently about tailgate thefts on the Toyota Tacoma. I had somebody post recently, or comment recently to me, that their tailgate was recently stolen. This isn't going to be a stop all, of course, and there are many different versions of these you can get out there. This is the cheapest. It's just a simple hose clamp. You just wrap it around the little slot so that nobody can pull the truck up, or the gate up, I should say, and remove the tailgate. Just one of those simple things to kind of add a little peace of mind or security. Moving on, of course, on the back, I've got the billet, or the D-rings. Some people call them shackles, recovery points, call them whatever you want. I really dig these things. I think they look really cool on the truck. You don't even have to have them in a color. Even if they're black, they still add a little bit of toughness to the truck. They are fully functional. I think those things are cool. On the back over here, we've also got the fourth, I guess it'd be the fourth brake light, as well as reverse light. This thing just slides into the hitch, plugs into the existing towing wiring, and it gives you a fourth brake light. Now be careful if you go to buy this, make sure you get the one that adds the flashing or the fourth brake light if that's what you want. Its main function though is as a reverse light. That thing lights up, you can see everything behind the truck. I think it's pretty cool. Moving on over to the front, I've got shackles up here as well, obviously matching what I have in the rear. Again, I like them for their aesthetic value, and if I'm being honest, that's probably the biggest reason I put them on, but they are fully functional. You know, if you're an off-roader, or maybe even a camper, and you get into a situation where you need to be pulled out of somewhere, these things give you many different options. You've got 4 of them, 1 on each corner if you do the rears as well, so that you can get yourself out of whatever mess you've gotten yourself into, right? Now, there's a very simple one here. It's these little blind spot mirrors. I don't really use them as blind spot mirrors. The mirror, of course, rotates and moves around inside its housing. They just stick on. but I use them to look down the side of the truck so that I can see what I'm up against. Now, for me, the main reason is to protect my wheels and tires from running up against curbs and things. Because unless you're somewhat of a contortionist and have your window down, you really can't see what's right beside the wheel. And I know I've had people say out there, well, why don't you just use your mirrors, Rob? I do use my mirrors. They don't give me the same angle or vantage point as these mirrors do. And what's wrong with being a little extra careful to protect your wheel and tire setup, right? These things aren't cheap, at least not for me. Let's take a look inside. This next one, and this is another one that holds both aesthetic and functional value for me. It is the aux beam switch. It allows me to hook up 2, 4, 6, 8 different electrical components controlled by this switch that I can wire under the hood. It's just a simple box under the hood. I guess I should show you guys probably. Let's take a look here. If I can reach, there we go. Always try to grab the wrong spot under there. I don't know why. And you'll notice another one as we look for this box. It's of course the Redline Tuning hood struts. Love those. See how easy that was? But anyway, under here is the switch assembly, the panel I'll call this. This is where all of your electronic accessories, like your LED light bar on the front, maybe your Raptor style lights, maybe you've got some other lights on the truck. I'm going to be adding some over here in the fang light area, and no, they're not going to be fang lights themselves. But anyway, you can connect everything into this. You don't have to have the extra bar here that I have. I just had it, so I included it. All of the grounding and positive connections are within this box, so you can keep everything neatly tied up under there. Now, going back to the control head itself, or panel, whatever you want to call this. This thing lights up. You can change the lights on it depending on which version you get. Right now mine are set at white. Coincidentally, they're white. It's not because it's on. So they shine a nice, really almost too bright white light. You can change them to pretty much any other color you want. They have one of those wheel things, and you can kind of select your own color. I'll probably change them in the future so that they actually match my truck. I think that's just a cool look. And of course, lastly, I can't go without mentioning the Banks intake and the Banks boost tubes. These things are awesome. They add power and performance to the truck. For me, it's both, obviously number one is the power and performance, but secondly is the aesthetic appeal of them. I think they just look tough under the hood. They look good, and I really dig having them on my Tacoma. Anyway, those are just a few mods that are, some of them multifunctional, I suppose, that in my opinion are must-haves for the truck. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.